adventures each day. It's the Ocala RV Show.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
Diamonds in the sunset, now your time has come. A pretty yellow bird fly away.
24 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I'm trying to remember where I was when this next story happened. I think I started radio about just a few years before this story, which means that if I was doing news, I was probably just, what they used to call it, rip and read.
Yes.
I would get the rip and read stories. Christine Lennon is on the phone. I think she is an alumni of the University of Florida, right? Mm-hmm. Am I right about that?
I think so.
She has written a book called The Drifter. It's a thriller novel, but it is based on true events. If you lived here back then you know the story of
In the 80s.
Danny Rolling. Is that when it was, the 80s?
Yeah.
The Gainesville Ripper. Christine is an accomplished writer. She's a contributor to Vogue, W, The Wall Street Journal, Town and Country, Harper's Bazaar, Martha Stewart Living. And it's such an honor to have her on our show. Christine Lennon. Good morning, Christine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Where are you calling from?
I'm coming from Los Angeles. I've been up for a little while now.
Oh my gosh, 9:08. So it's only 6:30 out there, and you've already done some interviews, huh?
A couple. Yeah, it's fun though. I really love talking about it, and I'm just thrilled to be able to get the word out. Talking to some people in Florida is really a treat.
It is, and actually the university is in our listening audience, so I don't know how many stations in this market you're going to talk to, but I'm sure you've got some of them right now. I wonder how many of them were there, like teachers or former students. Were you actually a student at that time?
I was. It was August of 1990, so it was. I was a junior. I was entering my junior year, and it was obviously a scary time for everybody. I think when I tell people I went to school at the University of Florida in Gainesville, and they're about my age, I think there's often like a flicker of recognition in their eyes. They're like, "Wait, isn't that the place?" And after just years of having that reaction from people, I thought maybe I should just write a story and see where it takes me.
So that's the question I have for you. When you have something that is so well known, and you decide to make a novel out of it, how do you do that? Do you change anything to make it a novel?
Yeah, I changed most of the details. It was, Gainesville is still very much intact. I think Gainesville is actually, it seems to me like one of the characters in the story. It was such a place that was special to me at the time. Still is a special place, but I kept a lot of the details of the community and the environment, and then I changed most of the details of the murders. I mean, it was definitely inspired by Danny Rolling, but out of respect for the victims' families and just not wanting to mine their pain for the story, I tried to really to change that up. But there was enough to go on, just that feeling in that moment of time and just sort of what it was like to kind of get that first taste of mortality, at 20 in your state.
Was his, and forgive me for not remembering, I have a vague memory that this was like sex killings, like he was targeting women he was attracted to or maybe even having a relationship with. Am I remembering right or no?
Yes, it was. He would stalk some of the people. He stalked his victims. He had a profile of like petite brunette kind of, type of woman, and he was a drifter from Louisiana who was kind of escaping. He was a career criminal, and he had attempted, I think it was attempted murder with his father or something, and he got on a bus to go to Florida, and he was one of those guys who just thought that he had like an alter identity that was telling him to commit these horrible crimes. It was like a voice in his head that was speaking to him and drew him to Gainesville. It's a terrifying story. He was really one of the, I'm not really a student of the genre, the serial killer genre, but he's pretty well known among people who study this kind of thing.
Did writing a story about him, I have kind of a double-tongued question here, I guess. I'm curious if writing the story helped you understand him, and the other part is I was wondering if writing it was a way to understand him. Were you trying to perhaps understand the psyche of him?
No, you know what? I don't think that was my motivation. I was really mostly trying to, the story is a lot about friendships and about how these women, are kind of these destructive friendships, and so I feel like they're kind of battling it out against the backdrop of this horrible murderer. This thing that's happening that's really scary to them, and they, before this happened, it was sort of like they thought the biggest threat to their life was sort of a jealous and competitive friend, and then this realness just kind of comes crashing in on their world, and this idea of violence in our culture it's obviously writing a book about it is sort of a safe way to explore this darker part of our society. Yeah. So in that regard, I was drawn to it in a way, and I just don't think I'm ever going to understand what makes someone like that tick, right? It's just he was a very twisted person, and I don't know if you remember, but he was executed in 2006. It was pretty well publicized.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And one of the nice things about your story is that you just don't start at the beginning. You start at present day, and then the character is flashing back because she has her own issues to deal with.
Yeah, I think she's got survivor guilt. I think that she really feels that she could have saved her friend and made some bad and immature decisions in the process. So, I'm always drawn to these kind of sliding doors stories where it's like, if I had just shown up 15 minutes later, or if I'd taken a left instead of a right, or if I had just done one thing differently, my whole life would be different. And so that was, for me, exploring that kind of flashback in time, like starting in 2010, where that she's okay and that she has a family and she's kind of trying to move forward, but memories from her past kind of haunt her, and how she works through that.
I have to ask, and I'm guessing every radio geek is asking this one, is that you? I mean, did you have that guilt at all?
No, I think we all live with a certain amount of regret over some, dumb decisions we made as kids, right? Like,
yeah. But nothing like this. I mean, is there anything in your history that you could have make a left turn and things would have been different?
I really, I guess, I'm sure that's true. I mean, I moved from New York to Los Angeles kind of on a whim 14 years ago, thinking like, I'm just going to try it, and my whole life changed. Nothing this dark. Obviously, I did not. I was not responsible for. I don't think. I mean, not that I know of.
No, there's no way. That's when
I probably would know about it by now.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a safe way to explore these darker impulses that we have. Like, it's sitting and writing a story about it. It's like, just kind of trying on these different worlds and to see and also ask ourselves these questions. What would I have done in this situation? That's what I'm getting from a lot of people who've read it, saying like, I'm thinking about it days later, like, what would I have done? Would I have done anything differently? And I think it's always interesting we learn a lot about ourselves when we ask ourselves these kind of questions.
We tell our sisters, we tell our daughters, we say, don't go to Gainesville tonight. There's a guy up there and they haven't caught him. Mm-hmm. I remember those days. I remember when, because it was when was he doing the killing, in 90?
90, in August of 90. Yeah, it was right. It feels like the 80s. We hadn't really immersed ourselves in 90s culture yet, but it really did feel like, it was the tail end of the 80s. So.
But I mean, Gainesville, especially because we actually are in Ocala, so Gainesville, especially back in the early 90s and late 80s, it was the place to go. There wasn't much happening here. So, and it was, and as young people, we would go up there.
All the time.
I'm not young now, but...
I know, me neither. Look, you and me both. I just told everybody I was in college in 1990, so I don't think it's really not complicated math to figure out how old I am.
Right.
You have a major undertaking with this book because you've done the lighter side of the world, like writing your celebrity profiles on Cameron Diaz, Lady Gaga, Natalie Portman, and now you're going into this depths. How did you manage to write about something so dark and still stay the way your personality is now?
Oh, I know. It's I had to kind of tune out that part of my brain. Like I've got young kids that are going to be in fourth grade. I've got twins, and I started writing it when they were in kindergarten. And being a mom of 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and also kind of exploring this dark place was really it's not easy. I'd write most of the story at night after they were in bed, just so I could tune out that kind of mom brain, like the air traffic control, where you're kind of tracking your kids throughout the day. And I wrote it at night between like 8:30 and midnight or 1 a.m. And I've always had a pretty active imagination, and it's been fun for me to kind of let it wander in a way that I haven't been able to do as a journalist. And I write about I interview celebrities. I write about interior design and fashion, and I mean I think I was just ready to kind of delve into something a little bit darker, right? I just kind of I don't know. I was really I thought it'd be fun to explore.
I'm finding it fascinating the pieces in the book that I was just looking at. So you have a real insight into the people who were being targeted.
Yeah, I know the kind of the all female dynamic. I love thinking about female friendships and how complicated and strange they can be, and I really mind that era. I mean, there are no characters inspired by... I mean, every character is somewhat inspired by a real person, but I started out with sort of a loosely sketched idea, and then I just kind of let them... They just became people of their own. So just creating these characters out of, like, experience I'd had, but really it's not... They're not based on real.
There's two groups of people I'm curious if you have heard from or if you expect to hear from, and those would be the people who were close to the 5 girls that were killed, and those who maybe have some kind of PTSD that from not maybe they had nothing to do with it, but like in your case there's a little bit of that post-traumatic, like a soldier coming back from war will say, oh my gosh, I'm alive and my friends aren't, and I could have done something to change that. That's what I mean. I'm guessing those people will be writing to you as well.
I don't know. I'm curious. I changed a lot of the details about this. I really tried to be respectful of the victims' families and and not mention. I mean, I did not. Obviously, Danny Rolling was the inspiration, but the character's named Scotty McCrae. He's got a different background. It's a different thing altogether. I think everybody I speak to who was at UF at that time had a little bit of PTSD from this. It was, and I have been hearing from friends from school who really have enjoyed kind of like feeling nostalgic for that moment in Gainesville, and B, just sort of didn't realize how much that event really left an impression on them, and I've said this, but it's like as before, campus violence was like a regular event, and it was really a shock, and to have it happen there and just Gainesville, which was, nothing outside of the swamp ever happens of like...
Right, exactly.
It's about football and sports and kind of like this sort of fun, kind of vibrant campus life, and you'd never expect anything that dark to happen in a place like that, and I think it changed all of us a little bit. I
know you have to run. I've got a copy of the book. It's called The Drifter. By the way, a UF alumni, only a UF alumni would put a playlist at the end of the book. I think
always about the party, you guys.
Yeah, yes. I'm gonna have to line them up on Spotify and listen to them the way you listed them.
It's awesome.
You gotta have a dance soundtrack. All right, thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time.
And your website is ChristineLennon.com, correct?
Yep, that's it.
All right, thank you, Christine. All right, we are up against break. We'll take a break and be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Plenty of clouds on this Wednesday with a shower or two in the morning, followed by a steady or heavier rain and a thunderstorm later today, the high 71 to 75. Wednesday will be mostly cloudy at night with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, low 59 to 63. Thursday, mostly cloudy with some showers and perhaps a thunderstorm, high 75 to 79. For Friday, some sunshine and warm, high 79 to 83. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Here's a 30-second news brief from the source WOCA. Ocala just got a little bigger. The Ocala City Council voted yesterday to annex 1,005 acres of Winding Oaks Farm into the city. One man is dead and another is in critical condition in Orange County. Two attackers held a gun to a woman's head, made demands, and then the woman's son shot both of them. Florida lawmakers took steps to cut back or eliminate the Visit Florida agency, and diapers will no longer be taxed in Florida. And that is your 30-second news brief from the source.
Hi, my name is Erica Olstein. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine. So, you used to be wired, now you're just tired. You used to be thin, but now you're the heaviest you've ever been. You don't necessarily always have to take a med if your thyroid is playing dead. If you have a thyroid disorder, an acupuncture visit may be in order. Come visit me, your primary care physician, Erica Olstein, at A Better You Healthcare. Call me at 352-615-5566.
On top of the world, Ocala's premier active adult community has done it again, and this time it's bigger and better than ever before. 10 new, never-before-seen decorated models will make their debut on Saturday, February 25th at 10 a.m. 5 exciting new plans from our maintenance-free Premier Series, and 5 big new designs from our Estate Series in one convenient model center. Mark your calendars for the can't-miss model grand opening event. On Top of the World has all the lifestyle amenities you want right here. Enjoy over 300,000 square feet of air-conditioned recreational fun, plus over 181 acres of outdoor amenities. Join us on Saturday, February 25th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and tour our 10 new decorated models. On Top of the World is located on State Road 200 west of I-75 in Ocala, or visit online at ontopoftheworld.com. That's ontopoftheworld.com.
Equal housing opportunity.
Come to the 4th Annual Habitat Strawberry Festival on March 4th, 2017 at the McPherson Government Complex. The festival's goal is not only to have vendors, food, a car show, a kids zone, live entertainment featuring one flight up, a lip sync competition, police versus fire department pie eating contest, and all things strawberry. But to also raise funds to build a habitat home for a family in our community. Check out the website, habitatocala.org, and follow the link. The Habitat for Humanity Strawberry Festival is March 4th with breakfast served at 7:30. Free parking, free admission.
A young woman contemplating having an abortion is told by society that whether she has her baby or not, it is her choice. The House of One in Faith in Ocala wants to give that young woman a place to live in comfort during her trying time, to help her know that God's love is abundant and that He is not ashamed of her in any way. The House of One in Faith is free and confidential. For more information, call 352-687-8895.
All right, 7 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Gosh, some really interesting stuff this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I hate talking about killers. I just hate it. I just don't like talking about killers. I'm never going to be a fan of Danny Rowling, or who's the other guy up in Tallahassee that was killing students?
Oh, yeah. What's his name?
The other guy. They're all idiots.
My mind's a blank now.
Well, I'd say good. I don't want to remember them. I don't want to remember them at all.
Is it a T word? I can't remember now.
Yeah, Ted Bundy.
That's it.
See, now I did one.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, the real heroes among us are the veterans. Thank you so much if you have served, and we want to make sure you know that we appreciate what you have done for us. The Marion County Veterans Council and the Marion County Veterans Services and the Veterans Council are inviting you to something. National Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day is happening March 25th. At 11 a.m., and all veterans and all citizens are welcome to attend. In other words, everybody's invited.
Yes.
All right? This is going to be a Saturday at the Ocala Marion County Veterans Memorial Park. To me, it is one of the most outstanding veterans parks in the country. It is... The folks who made it happen are role models for other communities who want to have something similar, and I'm not just saying that off the cuff. I've heard that this is true. The vets who come in here on Thursdays, Hank Whittier and his guys, he's like Hogan to me, by the way. He's like Hogan.
Yeah. Hank is great.
But anyway, so they come in here, and I've learned so much from them. The Ocala Marion County Veterans Memorial Park National Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, again, is Saturday, March 25th. Mark it on your calendar. Show up. Show them the support that they did not see when they came back the first time.
Yes, for sure.
They did not. They got spit on. They were told they were baby killers. And, oh, my gosh, they went and did what they were told to do, and they came back, and it was a disgrace. So anyway, we're trying to make up for a mistake that we made. 11 a.m., Saturday, March 25th. If you don't know where the Memorial Park is, the Vets Park, it's 2601 Southeast Fort King Street. And P.S., if you are a veteran, may I suggest you hang out with some of these guys? I'm sure there's more than one group. I'm sure there's a couple of VFW halls and a couple of other vet groups. The one that I'm most familiar with is Vets Helping Vets.
Mm-hmm.
They do exactly what the name says. They are veterans who are helping other veterans get through whatever it is they're trying to get through.
That's right.
And some of the things that the less fortunate vets are trying to get through is homelessness. I can't tell you how many times when we used to do the broadcast from the Cascades, and Hank's office used to be in the Cascades. Now he's moved out, and so have we.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to see him in the parking lot. Now keep in mind, I get to work still to this day in the dark.
Yes.
I show up in the dark because
Very
I have
early.
to start the job early to prepare for the radio show. But Hank would be there earlier than me. He would actually be in the parking lot, and I would see him handing bags of groceries to people who needed food.
Mm-hmm. You would.
Can you imagine that? An article, a really wonderful article that that Ocala Magazine did on Hank is, I think it was last month or 2 months ago. I can't remember which issue it was. And one of the things that when they interviewed people who knew Hank, they said, he's never even asked for a raise.
Yeah.
So.
No, Hank's that kind of a guy.
Anyway, it's just the whole group is just outstanding.
And they're all volunteers for Veterans Helping Veterans.
So kind of a double message here. Number one, I'll do a triple message actually.
Okay.
So number one, March 25th, 11 a.m., the National Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day here in Ocala. Please show up. We will be there. We will be there. You'll see us. Rob and I will be taking pictures and videos, whatever.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. That is fun. That is an honor to be part of it. Good morning.
The second part I wanted to tell you about is what I just started to tell you. If you're a veteran and you want to join a great group of guys, join Vets Helping Vets. I don't know all the stuff they do. I know they do a lot of good for the community, but I think they have fun times too.
Yes, they do.
They hang out places. They always talk about fun things they do.
Yeah, they laugh. I love to hear them laugh.
They have good time. And you've got something in common. You served.
Yes.
And for that, we salute you. The third thing I wanted to recommend is this, or to bring up is this, and I haven't done this in a while, but I used to do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
At the Veterans Park, there are bricks.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of those bricks, you knew where I was going. Look at you. You knew where I was going with this. They have bricks, and you can have messages etched into those bricks to honor somebody who has served. That person does not need to be deceased, by the way. You can honor somebody who is still with us. Bricks will be installed in the park about 90 to 120 days after you order them. So it does take a little bit of time, but you can put 16 characters and spaces per line, and you can have 3 lines of information. So you can put the person's name, where they served, whatever you want to do to honor that person. I have an old flyer, so I don't know if the prices have changed. Mm-hmm. But Jeffrey Askew is the guy who spearheads all of this. You have to get a hold of him. The number over there is, at the Marion County Veteran Services, is 671-8422. You can get a red brick for $40 if the price hasn't changed, a granite brick for $100, and a granite bench for $500. Plus, they do have historical plaques if you want to have one. Anyway, call Jeffrey at the Veteran Services, 671-8422.
Sing from the Paddock Mall Studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Democrats lashing out against the beefing up of immigration